everybody, this is St-Pierre at Physikinaction. Today we're going to discuss a bit sets and reps, and this came up because I have clients that are totally scared of putting on weights because they're totally scared they're going to okay, so we're going to give you a bit of a class on how to know which category you should be training in. Obviously, if you're 80 years old and you have a fake hip, a fake knee, and I'm just going about it this way, your necessity is much different than the 18-year-old wanting to build mass or strength or power for that matter. So we're gonna do everything off of my leg press only because it's an easy one that I don't have to adapt too much for you to understand where I'm going with. So I'm gonna take a seat and let's get started. Okay, when you start training, whenever it's the first time you start training, it's probably not wise to work in low reps, many sets, only because you have to start building some muscle at first. If you decided you're going to lift a car tomorrow morning, you probably either injure yourself or obviously not get anywhere. Now, if you were to build yourself up towards that, eventually you possibly could lift a small car, let's say a smart car. So we're going to give those examples throughout so you know exactly where we're going with this. Now, if it's my first time on a leg press, and I'm using the leg press, normally it would start you on a squat, okay, free range or something like this. But let's say we're starting on a leg press. If I want to work endurance, endurance is when your muscle is basically capable of doing the same motion many, many times. You don't need much weight, but we sort of have to use a time frame when we go to the gym. We're not going to work out on this machine all day just because we want to work endurance. So usually, rule of thumbs, we usually say around 15 reps, you become an endurance, okay? Now, if I were to lift an endurance, I'm gonna get into my apparel here. When I'm gonna do endurance, I should be able to do at least 12 reps, okay, 12 repetitions. And when I get to 15, I wanna know that I'm at max capacity. So you're gonna have to adjust your weights in consideration of this. If you hit around 15, and you can do it easily, you're gonna have to go up with the weight. Now, I'm gonna give you an example, okay? Some people find this, oh my God, she's lifting like 5 plates, it's 50 pounds, it's insane. But really, as you can see, for me, this would be a waste of my time, okay? So we're gonna adjust it so that I'm going doubles. I know I can probably do the whole thing, but I'm gonna give you an example. So I'm gonna be pushing off. And if I were to do this, with one leg, I'm still capable of doing so. My motion's not full, however, I can still do it. So find a weight that for the first 8 should still be easy. Now I'm gonna pretend, okay, that this is my right weight. When I'm coming up to 12, let's say 9, 10, 11, 12, and I start feeling fatigue, or it's getting hard and I sort of have to brace myself. See, right now I'm already at 15. It's about the weight that you want to be at, okay? That's when you're going to know you're in the right range. And you could probably do 2 sets if you'd like. Usually people that do endurance will do a whole set and then come back and do a second set around. This is very different from one teacher to another, and it's just moving it around, doing circuits or whatnot, and that is fine. You can play with whichever way you want, as long as you're not doing a specific sport that demands a specific. Now, if you're working in a strength and endurance, you're working a little bit closer to the 12 range. When you're working the 12 range, to know if you're in the right zone or not, usually I tell people if you can make it to 10, you're in the right zone. If you can go past the 13 or the 14, you may have to increase your weight. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to play our reps so that they fit into the amount of weight you're capable of doing, okay? So let's say this is for my 12. I'm gonna start pushing my weights. And let's say at 10, I'm going, ooh, it's starting to feel that. 11, 12, 13, well then I'm usually in the right spot, okay? You're also gonna be able to work mass. If you want to work some mass, we're going to be working around the 8 to 10 mark. 8 to 10 mark, you're going to have to boost your weight up, because if you can make it to 6, no problem, it's going to be easy to get to 8. You want 8 to 10 to be like, where you have to stop. Okay? You want it to be failure. So you're going to go up in your weights again. Don't be afraid of the stack, it's all mental. and then you're gonna start pushing, okay? And let's say that you're making it to 8 and you're making faces, you know that you're roughly in the right spot. If you're making it to 12, it's not heavy enough. You need to boost it up, okay? Next, you wanna work in strength. Okay, strength, you're gonna be more around the 6. If you get around the 6 mark, you're gonna be usually doing 4 sets and you're gonna take a break in between. The harder it is for you to do a rep, the more rest you need in between to be able to recuperate, okay? So let's say I wanna work, I'm gonna go here. You wanna work into that zone of strength training. You're gonna have to put it at a weight that's really difficult, and that by the time you get to 4, you may have to have somebody help you finish your rep or you know, your last exercises, and that's actually good. So in this case, you push your weight and you test it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hard, hard, quit. Now, there's another way you can function for this. If you have help, you're gonna put it at the heaviest weight you're capable of bringing it up and holding your weights for a little while, okay? I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna push it out. Okay, this is still quite easy for me. I would have needed another five plates in there to be able to show you the real way of doing it. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that you have your right position, and you're gonna slowly come back to your position. The slower the better. And then you push it back out, and then you slowly come back. So every time you're pushing it out, you'll probably need somebody to help you. And usually 4 reps of this, and you got a good rep going. So that's a little bit for reps and sets. Knowing when to change your weight. You gotta know which category you fit in. Where do you wanna be? Do you wanna be doing power? Do you wanna be doing strength? Do you wanna be mass? Do you want strength and endurance? Do you want endurance? Always start with something that's logical, work your way down, and if everything goes well, you know that you can go up on your weights and your resistance. So that's pretty much my tip for today. If you have any questions, please make sure to let us know, and it'll be our next video. Thank you.